Starting to see some isolated cells, and then by later on this evening we could see that scattered potential, even numerous strong to severe activity take place. This is what the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting as of right now in the orange shaded area. That is an enhanced risk, or a level 3 out of 5 threat. Again, numerous strong to severe thunderstorms anywhere in the orange, and that's going to encompass most of the metroplex. Down to the south a little bit further, more of a scattered threat, and up to the north along the Red River Valley, that's where a higher potential for more development will be expected. Now, through the latter part of the morning, we could see some showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder flare up, but it's not until later in the afternoon and evening when the strongest activity will be likely. So really after 2 for our far western counties, some strong development, but it's really later in the day when we start to see that daytime heating that's going to help initiate those stronger thunderstorms a little bit later on today. They'll push off to the east, and then as we work our way into Tuesday, we clear things up and a frontal system swings through. It'll make things much cooler in the forecast headed into the day tomorrow. As of today, 86 degrees. It will be a bit muggy outside. Winds from the south, even gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour this afternoon. But don't worry, I'll dive into more of the forecast details coming up. A severe thunderstorm does come into your area. Here's what I'm tracking. Showers and isolated storms through the morning, but by the afternoon, that's when we start to tap into the daytime heating and more instability. That's when the strong stuff will be expected. By the time tomorrow rolls around, though, we finally get a break from severe weather. Let's time this out. Morning again, scattered showers will be possible, an isolated rumble of thunder possible as well. But it's later in the afternoon. Daytime heating, we also have a sufficient amount of moisture, and we have a lot of instability and wind shear. And wind shear, not so great to talk about, especially later on this afternoon, because that's going to highlight a potential for even an isolated tornado or two a little later on today. So again, you need to keep an eye on this forecast, and of course, we will keep you up to date all day long. Now, here's a look at just one forecast model. It's starting to exit the region as we work our way into that 11 p.m. hour. Clear things up into your Tuesday, but until we get there, again, numerous strong to severe thunderstorms are going to be possible. From the Storm Prediction Center, you can see that level 3 out of 5 threat. It will encompass a good chunk of North Texas. Again, a very strong risk for tornadoes, a potential for large hail, as well as damaging winds. All modes of severe weather will be likely today. As of right now, you head out the door, 76 degrees, winds out from the southeast. It's nice and muggy. It's actually going to make the temperatures feel a little warmer than average as we work our way into the rest of this morning and this afternoon. Temperatures back into the 70s, in the upper 70s by the latter part of the morning, and your high for the day sitting at 86 degrees. But with that moisture, it's going to feel more like 91, guys.
What happened last night, what we saw, and what we're going to be seeing today too as well.
Right, and I feel like our forecast has been a little bit of a rinse and repeat cycle. Like yesterday, today we have another risk of severe weather in the afternoon and into the evening. This is why we have another first alert weather day in store for you today. Again, make sure you're keeping an eye on the sky all day long. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a level 3 out of 5 threat. That's an enhanced risk, and it will encompass pretty much all of North Texas up to the north a little bit further along the Red River Valley. That's where more widespread activity will be anticipated and some of the strongest development. Now, one thing I'm really concerned about as we head into later in this afternoon is the potential for tornadic development. So this is from the Storm Prediction Center, and what it's called is a significant tornado potential. That means strong tornadoes could be a possibility. I'm not showing you this to scare you. I'm just showing you this so you are aware and you do keep in mind to have a safe place a little bit later on today. And that's going to be the case with large hail as well. Storm Prediction Center highlighted a significant chance for very large hail. That means 2 inches in diameter, potentially even larger, will be possible. That's about egg-sized. We could see baseball-sized hail later on today. Again, a nasty forecast, a little bit of a nasty setup. This is why, here's our water vapor imagery. This shows us the cloud tops in the atmosphere. Not a perfect drawing that I drew a little bit earlier today, but you can see our low pressure system hanging out in the northern plains. But we have that trailing frontal system across the desert southwest. What's going to be causing our severe weather today is this dry line setup and an upper level system that'll be pushing through. That will be the ingredients necessary to spark up some very strong and robust cells. As of right now, just a little bit of cloud cover on the radar satellite imagery, not too much activity, but it's when we start to tap into the daytime heating, that's when the really aggressive storms start to spark up. As of this morning, just scattered showers are going to be possible, an isolated rumble of thunder, not out of the forecast, but later on today, I'm estimating around 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's when you need to stay weather aware. Forecast models are kind of all over the place as of right now because we do have a bit of a conditional threat, but again, that wind shear is there and all of the instability is there. So really strong thunderstorms are going to be likely later on today. As of right now, 76 degrees, looking outside of East Fort Worth. Not too bad of a morning for you, just a little bit muggy outside. Winds from the southeast around 15 miles per hour. It could get gusty this afternoon, upwards of 30 miles per hour. High temperature for the day at 86, but with all the moisture in the atmosphere, it's going to feel a little bit hotter outside. Now, that trailing frontal system that I was showing you is going to push through overnight, and that's going to cool us down significantly. As you wake up tomorrow morning, it'll feel much more dry, not as muggy, and those temperatures will be much cooler, lingering in the 60s for the rest of this week. As we continue into the next weekend, that's when we start to see that southerly flow and heat things back up again. Once again, we have a first alert weather day in store for you today. Make sure you're staying weather aware this afternoon, but it's just one more day, and then we finally get this afternoon, just like the past several days, we've seen afternoon flare-ups of really strong weather. That's back into the region today. Now, as we head into the day tomorrow, at least we're going to clear things up and temperatures will be much cooler and it won't be as humid. So at least there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel here. I want to show you what's happening on the radar data as of right now. Not too much activity. All of the green is just some cloud cover and noise here. We could see some sprinkles a little bit later on into the morning, widespread showers, maybe an isolated stronger thunderstorm in the morning and early afternoon. It's the latter part of the afternoon and into the later part of today when the strongest weather will be anticipated. So here's a look at this forecast model. Right here it's showing down to the south along the I-35 corridor and then moving off to the east, but really anywhere across North Texas could see a strong line of thunderstorms and isolated cells later on today. Again, we have a lot of wind shear, we have the instability, and we have a dry line set up in upper level atmosphere. We have a big system as well, and that's all going to contribute to the chance for, well, numerous storms later on today. Orange shaded area encompasses most of North Texas. It's a level 3 out of 5 risk. As of right now, 76 degrees, winds out from the south, a little bit breezy. It will be gusty a little later on this afternoon. You walk out the door, you can feel the air. Those dew point temperatures are in the 70s. The dew point temperature and the actual temperature is going to make it feel even hotter today. It will climb back into the mid 80s, but it'll feel more like the 90s as we work our way into that daytime high.
All right.
Hey, we all need it, right? But today it's going to get a little bit nasty. So heads up, we do have another first alert weather day in store for us. During the morning, it's not going to be too bad. It's later on today. We're talking about 3 to 11 p.m. You need to make sure you're staying weather aware. Once again, first alert weather day. It's all thanks to the Storm Prediction Center highlighting this level 3 out of 5 risk across all of North Texas along the Red River Valley. That's a level 4 out of 5 threat for more numerous strong to severe activity. Now, I want to go ahead and show you the significant hail threat a little bit later on today. Again, it's going to be heightened. What this means, the hatched or the lines here, that means the chance for large hailstones 2 inches in diameter, potentially even larger, is going to be in the forecast. So any of those supercells that do ignite, they'll have really big updrafts, which could create really big hail. In addition to this, we're looking at another significant tornado threat across all of North Texas in that hat shaded area. That means some very strong tornadoes. If they do flare up, it could create some big damage, and that's exactly why we need to keep you first alert. I'm not showing that to scare you. I'm showing that way you have a safe place, whether you're going to work a little bit later on or you're staying at home. You can go to an interior room at the lowest level. That's going to be the best place to go. Now, I want to show you why. This is the upper levels, and it's showing us our water vapor imagery, so all the clouds that are sparking up this morning. What happens is, well, we have a low pressure system at the surface up here across the northern plains. Cold frontal system system trailing across the desert southwest, but here our initiation is going to be due to a dry line setup, but also an upper level trough that'll really spark up some strong thunderstorms a little bit later on today. When we tap into the daytime heating, we also have a sufficient amount of moisture, so we have the instability here, we have the trigger, and we also have a lot of wind shear in the environment. That's why we have a highlighted tornado potential a little bit later on. Showing you the radar data, not too much in the sky, just a couple of clouds as of right now. Some isolated showers will be possible through the morning into the early afternoon. Don't surprise if you hear a rumble of thunder as well, an isolated risk there. But it's later around our 3 to 11 p.m. hour when the strongest activity will amplify and ignite thanks to a dry line setup popping up those strong thunderstorms. They'll continue to move off to the east. But look at this. We have that frontal system that's in the desert southwest. It'll be swinging through overnight into your Tuesday morning. And look at this. Nothing on our forecast model. We finally clear things up. So just stay first alert through the rest of this afternoon and evening. As of East Fort Worth, 76 degrees, winds out from the southeast. It will be a little bit gusty later on today, upwards of 30 miles per hour. 86 is your high temperature, but it's going to feel more like 91 because of all the moisture that's available here. So it's feeling really sticky today. Good news is once that frontal system swings through, we cool things off and things will get not as sticky. It'll be drier feeling when you walk out the door. Temperatures will be in the 60s when you wake up through the rest of this week. And we'll see that major cool down into Tuesday.